Welcome back, YouTube. MENaissance here with G and J. What's happening?
Man,
We
you
took a
know,
little we took a little hiatus, man. We were watching the finals game. Jay was on a vacation, and we wanted to do some stuff about the finals. So we will do a video about the finals, and we will do something on LeBron James. But we want to focus on that fight last night. What was last night? Was it October the 17th?
yep, October 17th.
October the 17th. It was Teofimo Lopez, 135-pound champion, against Vasiliy Lomachenko, who they had ranked number one pound for pound. We watched that fight last night on ESPN at the crib, and it was actually really good fight. I just rewatched it with my with AD, and she actually enjoyed it. She was able to break it down. But we need to get right into it, man. That was a real good competitive fight. Jay, who
Great
did
fight.
you have? Who did you have going into the fight?
Originally, I generally stick with my original picks. I chose Teofimo Lopez. My biggest reason for that was he always seems physically larger for the division, number one,
Mhm.
and Loma's never looked like that. Two, he has that type of, well, we call it hood fluids, but for those that aren't initiated into our circle, I would call that grit, or that type of bite down that most American great level fighters have. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't know if he had that because he's a baby in the game. He only has 15 fights, or 16 now. But I mean, the young man showed that heart, man. I mean, he had to dig way down for that 12th round. And I want to go deeper into that a little bit later because it was a reason for that, and there was a specific moment where it changed, especially in the later rounds when Lomachenko turned it up. So we'll get to that in a minute.
You're right, and I'm gonna give you a chance to do that too, because raw emotion, that fight was good, and you as well as some of my other friends, y'all had the right pick, and the reason I didn't pick with y'all for Teofimo Lopez, not I didn't pick Loma, I just stayed in the middle, but the reason I didn't go is because I didn't think he was gonna win that way. I didn't think Teofimo could win that way. That boy was sharp. That boy was that boy was like I was on pins and needles waiting for him to mess up. And for the first 6 rounds, he did not. For those who did not see the fight, one of the scores cards was 119, 109. That means they
Landslide.
gave Loma 1 round. We're talking about the number one pound for pound dude coming up, won 1 round. When have you
Right.
ever heard of that? When have you ever heard of Sugar Ray Leonard moving up to fight Marvelous Marvin Hagler, get them M's in there and them V's, go into that fight and lose a round? I mean, and win a round. When, when did you see, or when is the last time you saw Sugar Ray Leonard fight Roberto Duran and one of them won 1 round? When did you see Floyd move up and fight uh Oscar De La Hoya, or fight Canelo, or fight Zab Judah or Corrales or Castillo, and or Mike Tyson going and fight Holyfield? It was no time in anybody's career, even with Roy Jones when he was getting knocked out, where this dude was in a fight that went multiple rounds, and the guy that was supposed to be the truth won a round. Won a round. You don't the dude Teofimo Lopez is 23 years old, fighting a guy who is considered the most technical fighter in. Wait till we get on Teddy Atlas ass about this shit. Wait till
I
we
can't
get
I
on
can't wait.
his.
I
Ooh,
can't wait because you know he's going to invite somebody on, or it's gonna be his. I'm not sure if he's Hispanic or Native American, but his buddy that does the podcast with him,
ooh.
because I think he might have picked Tio, but we gonna see because he's gonna have a lot to say. He gonna
It's the
well, it's gonna be one of two things. He's gonna either have a very little bit amount to say, or he's gonna have a lot to say. Hopefully, it's the latter because he's been taking his humble pie well lately. You feel me? So we'll see.
mm. Shout out to my friend Will, Nate. He picked Lopez along with you. Josh, my cousin Josh, picked Lopez. Y'all had him, and like you said, going to rounds 8, 9, 10, 11. It was looking rough. The same formula that Loma used against all his other opponents at a higher level looked like that same formula was going to come into play but I think you got something to say about that.
Yeah, and okay, so let me go generally what I thought of my observation, and then because I scored this fight very specifically, and some rounds I scored over and over again because it was too close, and I said, nah, somebody got to win this round. I scored probably the the ninth round 3 times just so I could get to where I needed to get to. But funny thing, that might not have even been the closest round, but we'll get to that.
Right.
Anyway, as far as the overall fight, I would say that Lopez was busier, probably 80 to 90% of this fight, whether you thought that Lomachenko had his bright spots or not. For the overall of that round, there's no round that he equaled Lopez's punch output, not one. So
Right.
let's get that out of the way. And then when I was telling you about the shift, and just like you were talking about eighth, ninth, tenth. First of all, that little stretch was not as rough as I thought it was in real time, because I broke that down too. But just to go from that moment, eighth, ninth, tenth, I would say were a little bit rough. At the end of the, I want to say the 10th round. Remember that shot that they said that was low, but it was actually a belt line shot. That's what gave Lopez his confidence back, and I could see it visibly frustrated Lomachenko, just like the headbutt frustrated Lopez earlier.
Right.
That was the shift. So at the end of that round, that's when Lopez started to turn it back up. Loma tried to turn it back up within that round, and that's when we saw Lopez bite down. When pretty much every fighter that Lopez has fought and got to that point, that's when they break. And what Lopez did is shifted something and hit Lomachenko hard and was like, ooh. And he started circling. He ain't pressed no more the rest of the round for real until he had to in the last 20 to 30 seconds. So that's what made I said, oh, okay, this 12th round about to be ooh wee because he's not having it right now. He really bit down and showed everything he had. That's why we were on our feet. When's the last time we were on our feet for a 12th round? All three of us were standing up, looking into the TV like this in that 12th round. That was beautiful, man. That was poetry in motion for real. Like you really didn't know what was gonna happen. Had no idea.
AD, what AD she was not asleep. She said, "Wake me up when the fight starts." She actually was going in and out of sleep, and she recalled us hooping and hollering out here. And then she asked me today. AD asked me the day after a fight, "Can you turn that fight back on? Can you turn that fight back on?" She sat here and watched round by round, second by second. I almost recorded her. She sounded like a commentator. Jay, man, she was talking about something. Well, it's obvious that Loma's strategy is to wait to the later rounds to get more active, and that Teofimo is really disciplined, that he's not really biting or expending too much energy. I was like, shoot. After the fight, she was like, this was the most fun I had watching the fight because it was competitive the whole time. You didn't see the guys. She literally said this. You didn't see the fighters so fatigued late in the fight that they were, sloppy and undisciplined, or you didn't see where like the guy that was favored in the fight was dominating the guy, um, the guy that was the B side in the fight because it was a mismatch. You actually got two guys that were so high calibered and so evenly matched that it was entertaining. So that's number one. You get entertaining fights when you put people, not just people on equal footing in the ring, when you put people that are high caliber, so people can actually see something they wouldn't normally see on the street. We know what people look like when they get tired on the street or tired in the fight. We've seen that plenty of times. We want to see what happens when people have pressure on them, starting to get a little fatigued, have to rely on their heart and their technique to win a fight. So now people seeing something new. I'm seeing something play out. I'm seeing two people play chess in real time, and not somebody able to play checkers because the other guy is so fatigued or below his capability. But getting into the fight, getting to the breakdown so it can always be broken. I'm looking again. I didn't predict that Teofimo would look this clean and crisp. I didn't think a 23-year-old would have enough discipline to pressure a guy, throw more punches than the guy, try to hurt him to the body while the guy was taking rest, win the early couple rounds. No, because if you heard the post-fight interview, he said his dad questioned his strategy during the fight. He said, I figured out what Loma's trying to do to me. He is trying to pick up in the later rounds. So I'm going to win these rounds in obvious fashion, but reserve enough energy that when he does pick it up in the later rounds, I'm going to have enough energy in my second reserve, in my third reserve to fight back and not get overwhelmed. Thirdly, he said, yeah, he was hitting me. I let him hit me. You heard what's your boy name? The commentator, ballhead Timothy Bradley say, "Oh, Loma's making a mistake. If he just would only bring up his hands, he can easily block those shots. If I'm blocking these shots, is
You're not
Loma
gonna
going to
come
commit and expend his energy enough so that we
in.
can be
Exactly.
back on equal footing fatigue wise? No. And like you said, you watched the fight again, and I was watching it. Oh, he wasn't that hurt at all. He wasn't that bothered at all. Those stretches where he was landing punches weren't there weren't as many punches, as many of them didn't land, and it didn't have as
Right.
much of an effect as I thought. It was really just you were throwing arm punches. We're both sort of
Right.
fatigued. You're not gonna hurt me or stop me. So why not let you get this off? So when I want to fight back, you don't have the opportunity, you don't have the legs, you don't have the energy to run away from me. So now
Right.
I can get this round even more convincing, and not just that, I can actually make it an exciting round where I have a chance to actually stop you or hurt you. A
I'm a
23
piggyback
year
on
old,
that. I'm a piggyback on that because I noticed this and that it was so
a
impressive because
23 year old.
last night what we thought happened, what we really thought happened is, oh snap, Lopez ran out of gas and Loma's turning it up. That's not what happened. He saw that Lomachenko had a little bit of sputter left. So what he did was he rested on purpose. And we're not used to seeing young fighters do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why we didn't see it. But watching it this second time, he covered up, covered his vital spots, kept his eyes directly on Loma, was catching shots the whole time and just rested for like 45 seconds and then turned it up the rest of that round. He may have lost a round, but it was a momentum shift and a mental shift because Loma figured out that he could not break his kid right then because he wasn't surging forward anymore. He was picking his spots again. You know what I'm saying? Like in the eighth and ninth round, Lomachenko was I'm coming straight forward. You have to do something about it, young boy. And he couldn't do that no more. He just couldn't.
What
So it was man.
what is the pattern we see with the older veterans that are more skilled but still have enough youth in them to outwork young dudes at times? Where do we see that? We saw that in Felix Trinidad versus Fernando Vargas. Where do we see that? We saw that in Floyd Mayweather against Canelo Alvarez. We see it time and time again. We've seen it in plenty Bernard Hopkins fights. If we talking about Tavares Cloud, if we talking about John Pascal, we see that a lot. But another one I forgot that was actually more parallel to this was Pacquiao Thurman. Thurman talked Thurman talked about doing all the things that 23-year-old Teofimo Lopez actually implemented in this fight.
Hmm.
He was watching Mayweather and said, Mayweather is the best 7 round fighter. I'm going to win more rounds than you. The rounds that I'm going to lose, I might give up convincingly because there's a strategy in or there's a method in my madness in losing this round this way. Maybe I get him to expend himself a lot more than he normally has. Rounds can only be scored round by round. It don't make no difference if you landed 200 punches in the round and you landed one punch in that round that gave you the victory of that round. It's either going to be scored 10 or 9. 10 or 9. And if Lomachenko, if you want to go balls to the wall, go right ahead. It's the 10th round, baby. You can't hurt me no more. And I have the technique, I have the timing, I have the power, I have the discipline, I have good enough coach, and I have the youth on my side to actually execute this. Thurman couldn't. Thurman couldn't. It was the same scenario in certain aspects of whenever there was a millisecond that Keith Thurman let up, that's when Pacquiao committed. He shouldn't have let up that early in the fight, and we didn't see Teofimo let up at all the first 6 rounds, at all for a second.
Not at all.
And what you do, anytime you get in a fight with a veteran like that, and you press them and you win rounds early, guess what that veteran got to do? They have to press you. Do they have the legs to number one press you and get them rounds back? And do you have enough energy to keep them off of you from stopping you? You don't. Most of you guys don't. This was a 3-year-old. My question to you, Jay, number one, the Lomachenko you saw last night, number one, was it the same Lomachenko you've been seeing?
I think so.
I say so as well. That same Lomachenko, could Devin Haney, could Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis, could Ryan Garcia, could any of them have done what Teofimo did last night?
No.
Would any of them have beat him? Because I gave you that question and I didn't think about it.
Some of them, Ryan could not have beat him. Ryan hasn't been tested in any type of way that we could possibly believe he could have beat Loma. Devin, on the other hand, he has tools that can beat Loma, but has he been taken to a place where he is very uncomfortable yet? I don't know. But
Wow.
I think he has a way better chance than Garcia does, especially because Garcia is being protected in a way that's good and bad in a way. Because Oscar has shown an inability to be as accurate with his fight planning like Bob Arum is. He knows what's gonna happen. He's not really tripping out and already planned for this years ahead of time. It's like Oscar's like gambling on every decision, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. You didn't mention Davis. I'm waiting.
Oh, Tank?
Yeah.
Oh, Tank would have killed this dude.
You think Tank would have killed him?
Tank would have killed Loma. Killed him.
How?
Here's why. Because I think he has the same ability. No, the only intangible that is different to me is Lopez has shown a higher level of mental fortitude only because of the opposition that was right in front of him at that real time. Now, as far as resume, Tank got a better resume overall without the Loma addition. And I would say, don't nobody got more dog than Tank. And that was a big factor in this fight. And I don't see him being. I think he would throw caution to the wind a little bit even more than Teo did. So I would think that it would be similar outcome, but I think Tank would have hurt Loma, like hurt him.
Okay, we open up the package and look at everything Teofimo used to win this fight. The dog, which he used late. The skill, which we know Tank got. Mm-hmm. It was the discipline, second by second by second discipline of keeping him out of range by forcing him up against the ropes, by only throwing 2 to 3 punch combinations, staying to the body, getting back to the center of the ring, then having adjustment game plans already set up like Floyd. I'm going to commit to you. You're going to lose these first couple rounds. You're going to turn it on. I can still keep you at range. I got check hooks waiting for you. I'm pivoting with you. Now I'm doing the shoulder roll and coming with uppercuts. I'm still catching with the right hand, and we're both getting fatigued. And here's the next adjustment. I'm gonna let you get some hits off. Now you're right about that. I did see him do that against Pedraza. I'm like, why Tank losing this round? Why Tank letting Gamboa get off and Gamboa got one leg? Because he does have that. Tank had the IQ a long time ago. So I will give you, Tank had the IQ. It's the discipline. Would Tank sit in front of Loma, let Loma fight defensively, and just hit him to the body a few times in those rounds, be so sharp with his movements and his feints that Loma can't commit enough to get those easy shots on him and try to overwhelm him? I don't know that. We will find that out because AD said the same thing. We will find that out in the Santa Cruz because Santa Cruz got a decent chin. Santa Cruz is a volume puncher. Santa Cruz has longer reach. And so he's going to do similar things. He's going to try to overwhelm Tank at times. If Tank fights the flawless fight, I know he can fight, then I'm saying he's ready. So we said that about, you said the only dude you can guarantee a win against Lomachenko outside of Teofimo was Tank Davis.
Right.
Do you think Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or Tank Davis can be that Teofimo Lopez that just learned from Lomachenko?
Only person that has a chance. Only person that has a chance is Tank.
He said Tank all day. Tank all day.
But here's why though. Nobody else has the frame that can produce the amount of torque that would even scare Teofimo. Real talk. Like, you gonna have to hit Teo with some stuff that's gonna change his whole game plan. That's what you're gonna have to do.
You ain't changed. That dude's a veteran. I mean, that dude got veteran tactics already. You ain't changing his game plan at all. You in the fight. You in the fight now.
Well, not even that. I'll say the second phase of his game plan, like how Kell Brook kind of made Arrow switch it up just a little bit, and he started bulldogging and coming straight under that. You feel me?
Okay. Go to plan B. Go to plan B. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear you on that. My bad. So plan B. Who will pull up plan B? Number one, it's gonna be tactical early on. Devin Haney said when he sparred Teofimo Lopez, it wasn't competition because Teofimo Lopez tried to box him and he was too fast for Teofimo Lopez. He was too fast for Teofimo Lopez. But here's the thing: we talking about pro level lights.
That was
we talking about scoring each round, and y'all wasn't implementing, these strategies and these tactics. I don't see Devin Haney winning this fight just because Teofimo can change strategies and levels mid-round, second by second. So he can outpoint you to the point that you get desperate, Devin, and you're not as sharp late in fights.
Yeah,
he's not gonna he wouldn't knock Devin out, but he would outpoint him at this point. But you're right. The only dude that got enough skill, and we gotta see if he got the discipline, and he can think in the ring late in rounds, is Tank Davis. But and the other thing we don't know is Tank Davis. We don't know if he got power at 135 yet. Teofimo hurt everybody at 135, and Tank, again, he wasn't in the best condition for the Gamboa fight. But we got to find out if he got that pop at 135. It's a different type of pop.
And a good factor, especially that I was looking at with the All Access for Tank, is this. I wouldn't say this is his first camp, but this is his first full camp where he has no Baltimore distractions. His homeboy getting killed in Baltimore really got him full time in Vegas, and he looks in dead shape. He looks very, very calm. He looks more calm than he ever has. Like he ain't got no woman problems like he's had for the last Atlanta fight and all of that. I mean, because he was all over social media getting in trouble, So
yeah,
I like this level of focus. It's seeming, and you know what, the level of focus and the level of competition that we got to see in the NBA bubble, it's looking like it's starting to translate into boxing, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful, man, because nobody's missing weight like that. You're getting competitive fights from the smoker level all the way up to the top, just like that. That fight a couple weeks ago that they were saying was fight of the year, 8-9 knockdowns. So it's just really been a good time, and I hope that we don't take it for granted, man, because this is a nice little pocket of golden era that we in with the Charlos.
It's about to get, but 135 about to get saucy. Bob Arum got his guy that's actually marketable as a really good top. Where's he at pound for pound? That's a whole other video. We talking about Teofimo. Where is he at pound for pound?
Oh, yeah.
That's another video. The fact that Bob Arum has a breadwinner that got the goods and the marketability. Latino, bro. Let's not go down. Let's not even go all the way there.
Because he got to be in the top 5 now. Got to be.
But I'm saying, let's close this up on him like this, though. Let's close this video up like this, though.
I want to get my scorecard last. That'll be the last thing.
Okay. Give the scorecard. Just go on that. We're going to spend a little bit of time on that because we're going to close it up on them so they can get this content.
All right. Scorecard now.
Davis, the marketability at PBC, Mayweather Promotions, Garcia's marketability with the Zone and Golden Boy. We got Lopez in here.
Ooh.
Come on.
Super fights.
We about to get him. Lomachenko couldn't pull it. Lomachenko didn't have enough draw to command that you come fight him.
Right.
He was good. Bob Arum struck gold again. We about to eat. Not us, but PBC about to eat. Mayweather Promotions about to eat. Garcia, Golden Boy Promotions about to eat. Bob Arum is about to eat. He finally got it. He couldn't do it with Terrence Crawford, and everybody waiting on that because of that. If Terrence Crawford was the dog, if he was marketable, if he's talking that good trash, your boy would have been sent him over there to him. Al Heyman would have been sent Errol Spence over there to fight him.
You kind of need a big city kid, man, to have that.
Man, this I'm waiting for the Santa Cruz fight with Davis. Go on, give him the scorecard, man. What's happening?
So, and I got a little notes or commentary for each round. So, first round, I got going very clear and dominant for Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
Second round, and I am so confused by how people are saying that this was clearly a Lomachenko round. I don't know
Dominated.
what fight you were watching. I have
Dominated.
no idea what you were watching.
Lopez.
Lopez had first 2 minutes of control and never allowed Lomachenko to establish anything. Third round, Lomachenko was way too conservative, never established any generalship at all. And Loma damn near didn't throw a punch in the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So you conceded that one. Fourth round, Lopez in a great rhythm. Lomachenko still too tentative and no offense at all. Fifth round, another landslide. A check hook woke Lomachenko up. Now, that was a turning point because Lomachenko's offense kind of turned up a little bit because I think he was upset by that check hook. He knew he shouldn't have got hit by. Let's see. Sixth round was a very, very easy round for Lopez. Might have been his best round, the sixth or the seventh. He was super clean in both. He caught Lomachenko with a better, cleaner hook because Lomachenko started to slow down a little bit, and then Lomachenko started to come on at the end of the seventh. So going into the eighth, this is another transition. The headbutt is really what broke Lopez's concentration. Because
you said going in the eighth? Well, wait, what happened to the seventh round? What'd you say about the seventh round? I got 6 rounds.
Seventh round, check hook landed clean, and it landed even better. And then Lomachenko tried to come on late in the seventh. That's what I was saying.
Before you go forward, same thing I had. So you got 7 rounds out of a 12-round fight. That means there's only 5 rounds left. There's no way he can win other than a knockdown, but we already got him up 7 rounds. Go ahead.
Yep. Then going into the 8th round, the headbutt is really what slowed Teofimo's pace down because he was super laser focused. Honestly, I didn't really see him blink in the ring up until that point. That really frustrated him.
Right.
And that's when that's the round that Lomachenko started closing the distance and hitting him a little bit more clean and consistent. So 9th round was the closest round in the entire fight, in my opinion.
Right.
I scored this round 3 different times and got it even every time, but I do have to give a little bit of credit to Loma because I'm not going to give somebody a round just because they up their pace, and because that depends on what their pace was before. If your pace was below the person that you're in competition with, then it didn't matter in the first place. I might give it to him because he was pressing forward and dictating the distance a little bit more than anything else.
Right.
That's not much, but it was such an even round that I might have to give that to him, and I could see how people would give him that particular round.
Right.
Now, with that said, he was clearly winning the 9th round until Teofimo hit him with a hard body shot on the belt line that was not low at all. It was on the belt line, and he just started crying about it. And that stuck out to me because when European fighters, especially Eastern European fighters, get hurt to the body, this is the type of shit they do. They start looking to the ref, backing up, not really protecting themselves, and expecting you to protect them. So that was a red flag. Then going into the 11th round, Teofimo chose to rest at the beginning of this round. Most of us thought, even I did in my time, thought that he was getting tired. He closed the defense up, let Loma get off a little bit, and then pressed with the exact same fashion that Lomachenko was doing. And I personally think closed out that round very dominantly. And that was in, what was that? The 9th or 10th round. 10th round was a really good round. 11th round, Loma took the beginning. I would say Lopez took the end of that round and then closed out with complete domination in the 12th round. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds clear for Lopez. Very clear for Lopez.
Right. You definitely gave him the 12, right?
Yep. So I got 1, 2, 3 clear rounds for Lomachenko and a toss-up.
So 9-2 or 8-4, about 8-4 or 9-3. 8-4, 9-3. And that's it. That's it. 8-4, 9-3. So if verified the scorecards, congratulations, Teofimo Lopez, 135-pound champion, obvious, unified, undisputed 135-pound champion. He can fight Garcia. He can fight Tank Davis. He can fight Devin Haney. He can get the Mikey Garcia fight.
And you know what? And I'm good on symbolism, and I'm big on language. And one thing that stuck out to me, especially in that post-fight conference, and he's one of the young boys that really recognized this. He said, "I'm trying to follow in Floyd's footsteps, but I'm one of the only one that realized that you got to be pretty boy before you money." And he's
Pretty
really doing
boy. Pretty
You
boy
gotta be
before
pretty boy.
money. Y'all need to see it, but we gonna see it. We gonna get a real golden age because everybody, all the promotional companies had somebody. They had a horse that they brought to the race. They built them properly. Some of them had easier competition. Some of them had worse. You bring them, however you can get them there. But they here, and we about to get them super fights, man.
Man,
We can close on that because we got a couple fights coming up, and we got some other things.
135 is back, baby. 135 looking like the
One
welterweight division out here.
135 is back. Boxing is back. MENaissance is back. MENaissance is out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. We out.
Yeah.